All right, and welcome in, everybody. We're officially live here. It's episode 66 of the Garage Beers podcast. Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us over here.
How about that?
Look at us. Look at Chad sitting by himself.
Aw,
Nerd.
lonely guy. I'm just a lonely guy.
That's episode 66 of the Garage Beers podcast. We are back. We took a week off. We want to say thank you to everybody for bearing with us through a week off, the hell of a week that it was. But we hope you enjoyed the video that we put up of the Joe Tate interview. If you have not checked that out, please go do so. It's up on our YouTube channel. And again, we feel just blessed and lucky to have been able to talk to Joe Tate just a couple of weeks before his passing, and what a conversation it was. So if you didn't check that out, go check it out. But for now, welcome in episode 66, the Garage Beers podcast. Find us online at the Garage Beers. And as always, we are presented to you on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. So go find them at Belly Up Sports. They're doing all kinds of great stuff. Hockey, football. They've been talking about all kinds of great ideas. So check them out as well. With you, as always, I'm your host, Michael Keefe. Find me at Garage Beers Mike. And we're going to throw it across town to the east side of Cleveland. With me, as always, from the east side at Garage Beers, Chad. It's Chad Meyer. What up, Chad?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
It's good to see your stupid faces. I missed
I
you
know.
for a
It's
week.
been a minute. It's been a minute.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, I know sometimes between weeks that we always talk about, like, oh, it seems like it's been a month since we've done that. But like having a week off last week for, I mean, obvious, for obvious reasons. I mean, not obvious, but like good reasons. It feels like even months now. It doesn't feel like a month. It feels like months now since we've done this. So I'm excited.
I know it always feels like we love doing this so much. It always feels like even when we go week to week, it feels like it's been weeks between episodes. And
Yeah.
so to go 2 weeks and not do it, it was like, we have got to get into this tonight. So
I hope everybody didn't forget about us.
yeah, right. Hi. We're Garage Beers. Hi.
You remember us? Remember us? Fuck Sid, that guy. That guy.
Oh, yeah. Those guys. It looks beautiful behind you there, Chad. That's a gorgeous backdrop. You look like you're in a Bob Ross painting.
It is a happy little tree up above me right here. Just a happy little tree, along with some happy little clouds and a nice little sunset. No, yeah, it's a gorgeous night out here on the porch. It's why I love doing these outside in the elements here, because it's, I don't know, it's just
elements in the elements on your porch, on your the porch elements.
It's a gorgeous night here out on the lake, guys. I'm on a boat. Fuck it, I'm on a boat. For those,
you and the Lonely Island. You and the Lonely Island. You and T-Pain.
Yeah.
All right, so Chad's over there T-Paining himself on a boat with the Lonely Island, and with me, normally in Nashville, Tennessee, but sitting right here in Northeast Ohio, we have got the one and only Joey Whalen at Garage Beers. Joe, what's up?
Yes. I just drove up like, what is it? Like 4 hours ago.
Just
feels like forever ago. I literally got here, and within, I don't know, 15 minutes, your son, my nephew, comes up to me. And he's like, Uncle Joe, you have a really nice haircut. I was like, oh, thanks, Patrick. And then he's like, you stink really bad. I was like, God damn, dude, are you kidding me right now? I can't get your break. I just been working all day, driving 9 hours, taking meetings in the car for work. And this dude comes out, it's like, man, you stink. So I took a shower. And it's funny. Before I took the shower, I was like, oh, we're not doing anything tonight, right? I can just put on pajamas. And then, probably about a minute into this podcast, I was like, oh, shit, I probably should have not been in pajamas for this. But here we are. We're comfy. We're cozy.
Jambos.
He didn't want to bring you too far up, Joe. He paid the compliment and brought you back down to earth.
No,
So
I had a huge head walking to the door.
Like not Chad huge.
No. That's obviously that's not possible.
That's very tough. Very, very tough.
Yeah, it was great. And my favorite part about it is, like Joe said, it got to him to the point where he's like, I guess I got to go take a shower.
That's the second time in the past year he's done that to me too. They came down to Nashville for Thanksgiving. We were in Target, and I had him on my shoulders and we were walking around. He's like, Uncle Joe, you're stinky. I was like, bro, like, I'm not. Maybe I am, but maybe I am. So, I guess that's just a message for
No,
myself.
I'm not.
What the hell, Patty? What the hell?
Yeah.
I love it. So good. All right. Well, you can see it's just the boys. It's been a couple weeks. We got a lot to talk about, though, between the Indians season chugging along. We got a lot to catch up on with them. The Cavaliers season ended. We've got the Stanley Cup playoffs going on, and we got some fun at the end of the show. Chad's going to give us some fun polls that we want to get a part of. But before we get into all of that, of course, we are the Garage Beers podcast, so we have to start with our Garage Beers of the week. So we're going to throw it around. We're going to tell you what we're drinking. If you're watching us live right now, or if you're listening to this, that was a good timing. If you're listening to this, feel free to get onto our socials again at the Garage Beers. Let us know what your favorite beer of the week is this week. And if you got something you want us to try, tell us. We will go find it. We will try it. But let's just start with the guy next to me here as he pours his beer.
Yeah.
So Joe, what's your Garage Beer of the week this week?
Oh man, what was it? Last week, the week before? I don't know at this point.
Where am I?
I moved at some point in the past month.
Now, did you?
To a new apartment. And so whoever, again, took the under on me moving within episode 68, episode 66 happened by now. But I did finish the move with a Chill Wave IPA from Great Lakes. Ooh. And I was like, man, that it was like the beer that you earned, but it was like a really good beer on top of that. And those are like the best beer experiences. So I don't think Chill Wave's in season right now, or maybe I just didn't ask. But I did get Lake Erie Monster, somewhat of a similar vibe. I think I might have done this one last year. This is probably my favorite IPA that's easily accessible. Like, it is so good. It's a shame it's only in 4 packs. But maybe that's for the better because it's 9.5%, and I already had one today. And
things are going to get real crazy around here.
Real friendly. We're going to get real friendly around here.
People are real friendly around here.
I'm not going to review the taste or the nodes in it. It's fucking delicious. It's good. Just buy the beer. Buy the beer.
The nudes.
Did you say the
nudes?
I said the nudes. I said the notes. The notes. Maybe the notes. That's more better.
I'm not going to tell you about the nudes. I'm just going to drink this beer.
Yeah, that's for the after show. The after show party.
Awesome, man. Well, so a classic Lake Erie Monster. I think I had that on a couple weeks ago. So it's a great beer, and you're up here in you're up here in Cleveland. Get one. Yeah. Great beer. Let's throw it over to the east side. Chad, what's your Garage Beer of the week this week?
Well, fellas, went out to lunch the other day, and there used to be this place in downtown Willoughby called Brim Kitchen and Brewery, where they made all of their brews, which is well, unfortunately, due to COVID, that shut down. And what moved into that building was, I know there's a couple locations on the west side. It's a Barocco.
It's the bomb. Barocco.
Yeah, Barocco. And I don't know if they do this on the west side locations, but all the beer making equipment is in there already. And they said they were going to start making their own beers. So they made a Pulpo. It's called Pulpo Beer Company. And I texted you guys this on Sunday. It is a coconut limonada lime. Ooh. A coconut lime hazy pale ale. And it's good. You know, I'm not a huge fan of coconut, but there's just enough in it to balance out the lime, and it's kind of a little sweet and sour taste to it. It's delicious.
Yeah, listen, Barocco is one of our favorite places. We've been going there. They originally opened up in Birdtown over on the far west side of Cleveland on Madison years ago. We've been going there ever since. We love it. Now they got one in Crocker Park. Like you said, they're opening taco places now. It's a really awesome place. So that's cool to hear. Now, Brim, so we went there when they were on like the beer passport.
Yeah.
And they only had like one beer that they made. And all the other beers that were there were like guest beers. So that was weird to me. But the food there was good. But Barocco, you cannot go wrong with.
Right. Yeah. Brim was we got the idea that it was kind of run poorly because every time we went there, it seemed like they would have things on the menu that they didn't have, like they were out of it. And we would go there like right at lunch, like, we don't have this anymore. Why?
Right.
We didn't get in the truck. Okay. All right.
We ran out when we opened.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So one from, what was the brewery officially called though?
It's called Pulpo, Pulpo.
Pulpo Brewery. All right, over at Barocco on the east side. Love it. A nice summer beer there. Chad, your happy tree is turning a little more ominous in the background. I think maybe the storm is rolling through a little bit, but your clouds are getting a little scarier back there. I like the vibes. You look very frightening now, Chad.
Yeah,
you are scaring the shit out of me.
Yeah, just you're gonna see a funnel cloud just over my happy little cloud here pretty soon, and yeah, it's fine.
All right, so that brings it to me. I've got a sentimental beer. I went to Columbus Brewing. I've had this for a while now. I've been saving it for this episode, which we were hoping was going to be last week, but for a lot of reasons it wasn't. So my beer is from Columbus Brewing Company, and it's called Lucy.
Ah, nice.
And so
nice.
Lucy is the name of my daughter that was born on the 15th. You'll see here our buddy Lil Boomer. He said, congrats, appreciate him. I am not going to spend a big, long minute, but again, I just want to send a personal thank you out to everybody that just kind of waited with us as we weren't able to get back last week. It was a very crazy week for the whole family, most specifically Lucy, who just was born with a couple health conditions, things that are treatable and fixable with medication, things that she'll be on her whole life. But there were a lot of scary moments the last week when they didn't really know what was going on with her. And when we had to figure that out. And if you're a parent, you've had to go through that, whether it's due to a premature birth or a kid being born with a condition or whatever it is. We had that very, very unpleasant experience this last week. Last night was my first night at home where I wasn't sleeping in a hospital. So that was nice. Yeah. But Lucy's home. They did figure out what the issue was, and they're treating her for it, and she's going to be just fine. She's going to live a good, full, healthy life as long as she can survive me that whole time. So again, for me, it's a little bit of a oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, luckily you're on the road a lot, so she's just going to have to stay home with Katie.
Yeah, that's right. That's the easy part of the job. That's the easy part. No, yeah. So Lucy is my beer from Columbus Brewing, and I'm going to enjoy the shit out of this. It's a Belgian IPA.
Ooh.
So it's nice and light, easy drinker, good summer beer. Here's our friend Lauren as well. We appreciate Lauren. But yeah, again, just thanks to everybody. I had a lot of people reach out and say nice things, and we appreciate all that as well. So again, we won't spend a lot of time on that.
I can do this now.
Oh, Joe's just going to go in and I guess COVID's over. We're
it's
fine.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's good.
That's so good. That's cool. Yeah.
I do like this.
Cool. Now,
I like this question. I like this question from Lauren. More importantly, how many mini fireball shots has Joe had today?
Not enough. I could have more.
Well, I hope not a lot because he just drove up here from Nashville. So
well, Cincinnati's a tough town to drive through.
Swing by for a couple fireballs on the way through Cincinnati.
Totally.
Yeah. So listen, those are our garage beers of the week. Chad, you said you looked like you had something to say, and then we cut you off.
No, I was just curious. Now, did you guys always settle on Lucy? Were you debating between the name? Like, what were you?
No, Lucy. So actually, today is Patrick, my son. It's his 4th birthday. So back when Patrick was born, if he was a girl, he was going to be Lucy. So we knew forever that Lucy Elizabeth was going to be the girl's name if we ever were lucky enough to have a girl. We just were lucky enough to have a girl, and little Lucy is sitting out in the living room right now. They're still celebrating Patrick's birthday, although I think she's been asleep for a while now. But yeah, it's just it was hard to not have the family together for a week, but we're all together now, and now we can podcast, get back to what we do. The family's good. We got Joe in town.
Yeah.
Nice long weekend. We're gonna have a good time. So, anyways. Those are our garage beers of the week. Again, like I said before, please share with us your garage beers of the week. What are you drinking tonight? Let us know in the comments here on the live stream, or if you're not listening to us on the live stream, get onto our socials at The Garage Beers. Let us know what you're drinking. If you think of anything that we should try, any beers that you know of, let us know. We'll go find them. So again, to you guys here on the podcast, cheers. We can do this. We can do this.
Wow.
Cheers, Chad. To you, the listeners.
Use plastic glasses here because I break too many.
Yeah, he's a pain in the ass. To you, the listeners, cheers. And let's get into it. And I want to start before, we got Cavs stuff to talk about, Indians, obviously. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. But before we get into any of that, we had a very fun situation involving one of our favorite topics here on this podcast. He's been one of our favorite topics from the get-go. His name is Bryson DeChambitch.
Oh.
And he hold on. Come here, Patrick. Just for 1 second, then you gotta go. It's Patrick's birthday. He wanted to say hi.
Yeah.
Say hi, everybody.
Happy birthday!
Hi.
Say Garage Bears.
Hi.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Betty's gotta go now. All right, go back out to your party. It's his birthday. I had to let him say hi. So I feel bad that I screamed out Bryson DeChambitch as my son was walking in the door. But you know what? Kids got to learn early. Kids got to learn early.
No, that's one of the core, like, honesty, trustworthiness.
Bryson DeChambitch.
Bryson DeChambitch. That's third on the list.
You're teaching them about sports. Steelers, Yankees, Bryson DeChambitch. Now you have a golf guy you can hate.
Dude, it makes me so happy to have seen what happened. If you didn't see what happened at the PGA Championship this last weekend, that Phil Mickelson won in a tremendous story.
Beautiful.
Amazing story. But they're interviewing Brooks Koepka after his round, and he's just kind of talking about his round, everything. And Bryson DeChambitch walks behind him, and like it's hilarious because you could see that Brooks Koepka saw him coming like in the distance.
Yeah.
And immediately his mood, he was like, oh yeah, the course was playing pretty. He was talking about like it was really windy and it was actually affecting the putts. So he's talking about that. He's really getting into it. And all of a sudden his face is like, yeah, the wind was and he like paused.
And he's like, Bryson's still far away. Like, it's not like he's right there.
Yeah, Bryson has not even arrived
Just
yet.
the sight of him causes pause.
Just furious. So then it just like you could tell Brooks Koepka is just off his game because he sees DeChambitch in his weird hat walking up behind him. And then Bryson says something, and we don't know what got said, I don't think. And it just like it made Brooks Koepka so mad. And he just all of a sudden he's like chucking F-bombs, and he's like, I don't know how I'm even supposed to F and deal with this. Like just furious because nobody likes that guy.
Nope.
I do appreciate it. This happened somewhat organically, but we've never called him by his real name after the first time we talked about him on the podcast.
After he scolded a cameraman for filming him on the course.
Doing his job.
Yeah. How dare that cameraman? How dare that cameraman?
You know what's great about this is golf needs a rivalry like this. Why not? Because these two genuinely hate each other. I learned today that apparently they were going back and forth on Twitter. Like it started with a Twitter beef, and this was, dude. Brooks got Bryson so fucking good. Like Bryson DeChambitch said something about like how fat he was. He made like a fat joke to Brooks Koepka. And I think he called his belly like a bowling ball or something like that. And then Brooks, this was before Bryson had a major championship one. And Brooks sent back posted a picture of him with all of his like major championship trophies. He's like, yeah, I'm just a couple shy of a six pack.
Yes.
Some brilliant
yes.
Golf I love rivalries like this.
Bryson DeChambitch, we can all put this very simply. If I tell you to look at a picture of Bryson DeChambitch, he will remind you of a guy that was a huge douchebag from high school.
Yeah.
I guarantee in your head right now, Chad, you are envisioning a guy that looks just like him from your high school that was like, oh, that guy was such a douche. Joe, same. I guarantee you that you are thinking of a guy with like a weird, strong jaw and he's like, he thinks he's super handsome. But he's also kind of weird looking, but nobody wants to tell him that. And he's just like overly cocky about everything. But he's not like, he wasn't like the star athlete or anything. He was like the overly cocky about everything guy that shouldn't have been overly cocky about anything. That's Bryson DeChambitch. That is him. And so it's just so hard to say anything nice about him. I can't.
Yeah. So like literally, Kenneth Copeland does not get this much flack from the show. It's literally all Bryson.
He's the guy that was like a kind of a skinny nerd, but like was rich in high school. And, you know, and like you said,
Totally.
and like you said, like, oh yes, this is the country club de Chambos, you know, and
He's like, yeah.
but like now he just got confidence because he started working out and like got muscles. So now he's just even like a bigger like douche, even though he's still like a nerd underneath that. Like
he's out there, and he's out there posting he's posting like pump up videos to like DJ Khaled songs while he's working out. Like, you just called Brooks Koepka fat, and I just watched a video of you sweating under your man tits for like 5 minutes. Like, what are you talking about?
Did you see the latest one he did? He had like 85-pound dumbbells that he was, I guess, like, I don't know what it was, but he was doing like I called it schmurls. He was doing like shrugs, rows, and like curls. Like he couldn't lift them, but he was like just like jerking his leg. He was like, ugh.
Oh my God.
Leave me alone. I'm schmirling.
Yeah. Who needs CrossFit when you can just do 8 sets of schmurls with 85-pound dumbbells?
Yeah. Apparently, though, he probably didn't like one of the angles he was filmed at and just totally berated this friend that was filming. But it's cool.
Yeah.
It was an awesome week. I don't know if you're into golf or not, whatever. But to see Phil Mickelson just dominate a tournament the way he did, because he really did just dominate that tournament, played really well. And that's the kind of tournament he's going to dominate, right? Like, the winning score is not 18 under par. He's not going to win that tournament. But when it's 6 under, 7 under for the whole 4 days, that's prime Phil Mickelson.
Yeah.
Oldest person to win a major ever.
Yeah.
But he looks like he's in the best shape he's ever been in. And so there's something refreshing about a guy like that who's like, he said afterwards, he was like, I don't know whether this is my last tournament win ever or whether this is going to like spark me into a few more wins. But like, he just was appreciating it. It just was it was a great week. It was a cool thing to watch. And then just cap it off with Brooks Koepka being as awesome as everybody thinks he is and just making Bryson DeChambeau his DeChambeau.
Any man with calves the size of softballs like Phil Mickelson has deserves to win a major championship before he retires. Okay, the man.
Speaking of softball,
sexy.
Speaking of softball, this guy's got a wicked softball injury on his leg.
He
goes hard. He goes hard.
Yeah, it was from like a month ago. It was a while ago. It was back when I was in the hotel. But I was on first, and it was a ground out to short, and I didn't like where the second baseman was positioned, so I tried to slide into him, and I just cut up my entire leg. It's
lingering. It's lingering.
It's a little lingering.
Gotcha. Is it like the strawberry the one girl gets in like a League of Their Own? Like she pulls up like you're sliding and
for sure. It's more like a plum now though.
It's a plum.
Yeah, it's not as red anymore.
Oh, I feel it deep in my plums.
Deep in my plums.
I want to take these plums down to the farmer's market.
There's also a funny story about the sinkhole.
Another one.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's more just like kind of like a fuck you story about it. But I think I had my last day. I think I had my last day at this house at I don't know. It was like Tuesday this week or something. Yesterday. And we poured wine down the sinkhole, and it was skunk wine, like it was bad bottle, but it was very liberating. I did not fall in the sinkhole, although that I recall, I haven't fallen in it. I might have in the past. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, knowing you would have. It's a massive victory for you that you did not fall into the sinkhole.
Right.
But yeah, Joe's got softball injuries. Anyways, we'll get off the golf. We'll get into some more local stuff here. We got, again, after 2 weeks, there's just a lot to talk about. But just thought that was phenomenal. A sport that needs more stuff like that. And, when you watch golf, whether it's the Ryder Cup or the Phoenix Open, there's those certain tournaments where they encourage like fan interaction and like cheering and yelling and rowdiness. That's the best shit to watch. And so to see the guys get after it a little bit, we'll take that all day, every day. It's kind of the same thing. We're going to transition to baseball here. So it's kind of the same thing in baseball, right? Over the past couple weeks, one of the things that happened in baseball before we get to the Indians is the Twins and the White Sox are playing a baseball game in Minnesota. The White Sox are killing the Twins. The Twins put whatever that guy's name is, the La Tortuga, into pitch. He throws a 3-0 pitch to Mercedes, wasn't it, for the White Sox? And he just crushes a home run over the left center field fence. And it sets off this firestorm of these asshole old people who think that these unwritten rules of baseball should be a real. Tony La Russa, the manager of the White Sox,
asshole number one,
prime asshole, is the first guy in line.
Class Philip asshole.
He's the first guy to critique his own player, saying, "Oh, in that situation, you shouldn't swing 3-0." It's the same like golf. It's like in the golf. Let's get the fans more involved. Let's get this thing a little rowdy. Let's have some competition and trash talk. It's a blast. People love to watch it. And the whole point of sports isn't to keep these traditions alive. The whole point of sports is to make money as a business, and you need people to watch. How are you going to get them to do that? Get rid of this bullshit unwritten rule. That dude lobbed a 47-mile-an-hour pitch over the plate on 3-0, and this Mercedes dude that can hit the ball 400 million feet crushed it like he should have done. If that's me in that situation, hell yeah, I'm padding my stats. Like,
well, here's the thing too. There's two things with it. One, if you don't want someone to hit a 3-0 pitch that's thrown at 47 miles an hour over the wall, don't put yourself in that situation. This is Major League Baseball. This is the top level of baseball.
MLB.
Don't go and put yourself in a position where you're having an outfielder chuck a 47-mile-an-hour pitch. This is stupid. You suck. Bye. I hate the Twins. I absolutely hate the Twins. I also hate the White Sox, but not so much. But two, like what come contract time, they're not going to look at his home run stats and be like, well, he got 89 home runs, but really it's like 88 because that one went, that wasn't a real home run.
Right.
Pad your stats, dude. Like this is how you make a living, man.
Look, it would have been totally fine if we would have swung at it on a 3-2 count. But 3-0?
Yeah.
That's out of the question. Listen, we were thinking about giving you a 10-year, $300 million contract, but now we're going to have to take it back a year because you swung on a 3-0 pitch when the fucking right fielder threw you a meatball down the middle at 50 miles an hour.
Hey, listen, fellow front office people for the White Sox. I know Yermin Mercedes hit 45 homers and 120 RBIs last year. I know that we view him as like a building block, but did you see? Yikes. Did you see what he did? Did you see when he hit that one home run?
Let's make sure our head coach just absolutely berates him publicly. And let's make sure he doesn't feel welcome here at all. That's actually, did they take that from the Indians?
It is.
It's a very, very Indians move.
Although I don't know that Terry Francona would come out and just like officially berate a player for something like that. That's publicly.
True. That's true.
You remember that one time he did what any other hitter in Major League Baseball would do?
What an asshole. What a total
Could you
idiot.
imagine if he swung and missed though? Like that would be embarrassing.
Oh my God. That'd be like the Rowan Gardner float. Like Hato missing the Rowan Gardner float pitch.
It's why Trevor Bauer is going to go down as one of my favorite players ever.
Yep.
And it's when he was with the Indians, he was a really good pitcher, but he wasn't dominant the way he is now.
Right.
And he talked a lot in kind of weird ways. But ever since, I feel like the Astros cheating thing, opened him up to just talking about whatever, whenever he wants. Mm-hmm. And now he backs it up with being one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball every year. I love that he chimes in on that stuff too, though, because it's the same thing as somebody pimping a home run. He's like, I don't give a shit if you pimp your home run. I threw you a bad pitch. You hit it for a home run. You want to walk around the bases flexing at me? Go for it. I don't care, because he's going to do the same thing back at the hitters. What he do to last week? He struck a guy out and he.
It was the one of the things was the one eye thing.
Yeah,
he was pitching to some team. I think it was spring training though, with one eye open, right?
I think it was actually. I think it was.
Was it the Padres?
I think it was Tatis.
Okay,
Tatis got him.
Yeah. But then Tatis just absolutely pimped a home run off of Trevor Bauer. And then he did the one, I think, like, that's incredible.
And Bauer loved it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just, sure. That's the stuff, like, I know you've got cranky old people that think, oh, if you hit a home run, you should just put your head down and run as fast as you can around the bases. Or
act like you've been there before.
But that's not fun. That isn't fun. It's fun to watch somebody celebrate when they do something good. These people are professional. It's the same thing as touchdown dances or slam dunk celebrations or goal celebrations in hockey. These people are the best at what they do in the world.
Yeah.
And they're going up against the other people that are the best at what they do in the world. So when you get them, it's an awesome moment. It's a good feeling. Like, celebrate that shit. Walk around the bases. Moon the pitcher. I don't give a shit. It's all fun for me. Like, they should do all of it.
And just like golf, baseball is another sport that could use some fun. You know, the NFL stood for, was the no fun league. Well, then they allowed touchdown dances again. All of a sudden, the NFL got a lot more fun. So baseball needs this. I mean, I've always been a proponent of saying bring steroids back. They should allow steroids in baseball because it's more fun when guys are hitting 800-foot bombs over the fence. Well, if you're not going to allow that, allow this stuff because that's going to attract more fans. It is.
I hope that as we continue to go on, that this unwritten rule, there are no unwritten rules. Like, let's be real honest. Let's have that frank conversation. There are zero unwritten rules. If it is unwritten, it isn't a rule that doesn't exist. You do not have an unwritten rule. There's no such thing. So for all these people that are like, Tony La Russa in that circumstance said that he was fine with the pitcher for the Twins throwing at Mercedes the next game.
Yeah.
He was like, I feel like they responded appropriately. You feel like chucking a 95-mile-an-hour fastball at your player because he hit a strike for a home run?
One of your star
is
players
appropriate?
Too.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. These unwritten rules don't exist. They need to go away. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, is there any argument for that?
No, I totally agree.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's get into the tribe a little bit because we've got some notes. We got some things to talk about. But, over the last couple weeks, the Indians have kept it going. Again, playing pretty solid baseball. The pitching has been, in all, pretty good. They've had outings here. It's a weird, again, guys, it's a weird position, right? We are so used to, over the course of the last 5, 6, 7 years, we are so used to a 1 through 5 rotation that just dominates, right? When you've got Kluber and Bauer and Clevenger and Bieber and Carrasco all in the same rotation, you're dominating.
Right.
It isn't like that this year. Bieber has not. He is not like Cy Young pace Bieber, even though he's striking out a ton of people. He's also, I mean, ever since our interview with Jay Crawford a little while ago, it feels like every outing for Bieber, teams are hitting him around a little bit. Even though he's still getting a couple wins out of those, he's getting hit hard, weirdly. Mm-hmm. Plesac, we'll get back to him. He's been really good lately, but he's going to be out a minute because he aggressively took his shirt off.
I can't wait to get to that.
Savali's been solid. He was really good last night, but then you get to the bottom of that rotation, and you've had Tristan McKenzie just giving up like 10 runs a pop, and although he was good tonight, and you've got like a bullpen spot that has been It's been an interesting year because it's like the Indians have changed identities right in front of our faces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the offense is still. You would still like to see them hit a little bit more, but they have been putting up some runs in these games in the absence of the dominant pitching. So it's kind of nice to see from an offensive standpoint, but. I mean, generally, if you can't expect even the most dominant staffs, you can't expect them to be dominant every single night. And even with Bieber, yeah, he is striking out a ton. He's getting hit hard, but he is only giving up 2-3 runs a game,
Right.
which is enough to put your team in a position to win. And fortunately for Bieber in these situations, and Savali, what I think I saw something the other day. He leads the league in wins, or the American League in wins, with 7. So I mean, the offense
He's having a great season.
The offense is actually picking up the pitching right now, and it's really nice to see. And I had this conversation with my buddy the other day. I'm so confused, and it's a constant battle with myself because in the beginning I wanted to criticize this team so bad. But when is it fair to criticize this team? Because, the season is so freaking long and there's time to turn it around. And these last couple of weeks, the Indians have turned it around, guys.
Well, and they haven't. I mean, what are we, 2 months, pretty much 2 full months in right now?
Yeah.
They haven't dug themselves a hole. They are in the pennant race still. And, there's a lot of things that can happen between now and the trade deadline. To kind of assess what specific holes they need to fill. Obviously, offense is always probably top of that list.
Well,
there's lots of needs everywhere. More needs than I was expecting at this point.
Well, listen, it's they have in true Indians fashion, they found a couple little diamonds in the rough, right? You bring in Harold Ramirez, and he's been a spark plug for them.
Yeah.
He's played fantastic in the outfield, and everything that guy hits is hard. Even when he makes it out, it's a hard hit ball. It's a little Josh Naylor-ish because I think he's the same way. Every time Ramirez hits the ball, it's a rocket. So he's been a spark plug in that outfield in a position where you desperately needed a spark plug. Now you're still chucking Jordan Luplow out there.
I was going to say the unpredicted story of the year is that Jordan Luplow would be doing enough to stay on this team.
I mean, but kind of.
He's doing enough. I'm not saying I'm not happy with it.
Right. It's so easy to just have a recency mind, right? Jordan Luplow mashes a 2-run homer yesterday, and an important 2-run homer. They were up 2-0. That put them up
4-0. Last week or something.
Whatever.
I know, but here's the thing.
He was 0 for 20 before that.
I'm sure he's a very nice guy, and I'm not trying to speak ill of him as a person. But I didn't necessarily want him to come out and do well this season because I just don't want him on the team. I don't want this average guy that we have better people that we can put in this position. And I hate that it's a money decision to keep him in there because they don't want to pull some guy out from AAA. It's just it's infuriating that he's still on the team.
He's Brandon Guyer.
He is. Brandon Guyer.
Nailed it.
He hits righties super well.
It's just so. Anyways, Harold Ramirez comes in.
Brandon Guyer was better than Jordan Pulpo by a mile.
Well, against lefties, I don't know.
Not more than a mile, a literal mile.
I think they're very comparable. Very.
Yeah.
Very.
I mean,
very. But again, you have outfield positions that Eddie Rosario has not hit the way we were all hoping. So hopefully he comes around. Josh Naylor's been good. Franmil Reyes he's a short-term DL stint, but he'll be back. He's been mashing the ball. Franmil's been amazing this year.
Yeah.
Jose Ramirez has been amazing this year. The Indians have just recently given up a 1-0 lead here. So that's a bummer. But listen, they're 26-20, and we've all gotten into it a little bit with the Indians, and I will critique them as much as ever because I still don't think we will see what they do at the trade deadline. They've got holes to fill. Your shortstop position is a disaster.
Yeah,
it is a literal disaster. Now they've called up Owen Miller. We'll see how he plays into the infield because I do like that kid. I think he plays really hard and really well. But your shortstop position's a disaster. Jimenez didn't do much. Ahmed Rosario has been pretty good, but the dude is a platoon player. That is what he is, at least for now. So it's interesting. You've got Roberto Perez that's been out, so you're chucking Austin Hedges and Rene Rivera out there. But here's why the Indians they will stay good until the end. And again, I don't want to get this crossed. The Indians are going to stay good till the end. They are a The Indians are a playoff team potentially because they've got one of the best back ends of the bullpen in baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With the resurgence of Brian Shaw, he has been so good this year.
Right. Yeah,
and the dominance of guys like Karinchak and Clase, who even when they get themselves into trouble, usually get out of it. My favorite thing to watch on the Indians so far this year has been when they go into these extra inning games and the other team gets a runner on second base and they bring in Karinchak and he gets out of it like every time.
Yep.
Every time.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, when they brought that rule in last year, I felt like that caught a lot of people, not caught them off guard, but it's not something that anyone had a ton of experience practicing with. That's, you know, you're starting with someone on second.
It's like a ghost rule.
That's not something that closers walk into a whole lot specifically.
Here's what I found.
Whoa.
What'd you find?
I don't know. Siri's listening to you talk.
goddamn.
She wanted to talk to you.
But I feel like a year with that rule under everyone's belt kind of changes it up a little bit.
Oh, Patrick's back. Hey, you got to go back out there, buddy.
I'm coming to say goodnight.
Oh, good night, buddy.
Good night, buddy.
Patty came to say good night, everybody. All right, go say good night to Uncle Joey.
Good night.
The Indians are going to stay relevant and good because of their pitching, and they have enough offensively to stay relevant, right? Again, that's never been my point. Like, you and I have argued a million times. That's never been my point. My point is, do the Indians do what it takes to win a World Series? Like, my point is,
no.
Did the Indians last winter in the offseason, did the Indians and the front office and the coaching staff and the ownership group look at what's going on and say, we want to win the World Series, so we're going to do whatever it takes? No. So, great. This team's going to be around, but it's going to be real interesting. I think that'll be a fun thing that we're going to be able to talk about the whole way up to the trade deadline.
Yeah.
To see what this team tries to do at the trade deadline, because they've got several holes they need to fill if they think they're going to win a World Series this year. You got another outfielder to get. You got an infielder to get. You got a pitcher to get. Like, you've got to fill in some holes to win the World Series. We'll see how serious they are about going for it, because that has been the area that they've been good. They bring in guys at the trade deadline who contribute. So we'll see what happens.
Might be worth keeping Luplo out a little longer then, if that's if we're going to shop him around, you know. He's a hot commodity to the Mariners and the Rangers.
Hey, Mets. Jordan Luplo for Francisco Lindor straight up. You in?
Yeah, sure.
The numbers are identical.
Well, that's fair. But that'll be.
Oh, man. How you feeling,
so
Frankie? How you feeling right now, Frankie?
I think that got so blown out of proportion too, by the way. Like, what a dumb thing to say. Anyways,
no.
So let's talk about the story of the week for the Indians. One of your better pitchers aggressively undressed himself. Hulk Hogan'd his shirt right off his body, listening to I Am a Real American. And now Zach Plesac is out. They did come out today and say his thumb injury will not require surgery, but Zach Plesac's out for a minimum. Terry Francona said on the pregame before the game tonight, no baseball throwing for a minimum of 3 weeks. So Plesac's out at least a month because he aggressively took his shirt off. So, guys, here's my question. That brings up an interesting topic. We're going to call this segment of the show, what's your worst undressing injury you've ever had?
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay. Mine's mental.
Yours is mental? What does that mean? What does that mean?
Nothing. I'm just saying, me and undressing, ain't nobody wants to see that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I traumatize myself every time I undress.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah. Well, one time back in college when I was trying to change clothes, hammered drunk, I couldn't get a foot out of one of the legs and I fell into my closet door. I think that's probably my worst undressing injury.
The only time I've ever legitimately thrown out my back was taking off a pair of khakis after work.
A khaki injury.
Oh yeah, taking off my khakis after first job out of college, probably I don't know, 4 months into the job. I was just taking off my khakis, and like one of the legs got caught, and I was trying to like get it off, and completely throughout to the point where I couldn't move. Like I was out for probably about an hour, like laying on the ground, and like phone was on the bed, I was on the floor, and I was just sitting there. I was like, "What is going on? What is this? Is this real life? Is this?" I literally could not get the phone on the bed, so I was laying on the ground for about an hour.
It's a khaki catastrophe.
Yeah. Wow, that's so funny. I didn't even remember that till just now.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
He sounds hideous.
Well, he's a guy. So Indians just lost to the Tigers 1-0. Josh Naylor just ripped a line drive up the middle, and they were playing a shift. So it was caught, and then Eddie Rosario was doubled up off of first base. So Indians fall to Detroit 1-0. They play again tomorrow afternoon, but that takes them down to 26-21. But they came into this game a game behind the White Sox for first place. So, so listen, guys, how big of a deal is it to not have Zach Plesac for a month?
Huge, absolutely huge.
Huge.
You have like an already struggling rotation. You can't afford to have. Look. Your rotation is going to get battered and bruised throughout the season. You're going to lose a guy here and there. You can't lose a guy for something like aggressively taking off his T-shirt. Are you kidding? Like, I literally picture him.
Did we talk about this? Did the story come out on this? Like, do we know what happened?
No. I mean, well, I supposedly it happened after after a game where he struggled. I can't remember which game it was, where he gave up like 5 runs. And he was so pissed off, and he I don't know. I guess he Hulk Hogan'd his shirt off his, and then it started to swell, and then he fractured his fucking thumb.
Could you imagine? Imagine being one of the other guys. Imagine being one of the other guys in the locker room. If he was throwing a temper tantrum, imagine being one of the other guys being like, "Oh Jesus Christ, here he goes again." As Zach Plesac is like fumbling, ripping his shirt, and then he breaks his thumb, and he's just sitting there like, "Oh God, what are you doing, Zach? What are you doing?"
Well, Tito, can you tell us exactly what happened with Zach? Well, this isn't the first time Zach has taken his shirt off aggressively after a game, but it just turns out that this time it cost him some time. And he's just he's gonna miss some time. He's gonna miss 3 weeks because he took off his shirt aggressively.
I picture him just at like a bar or something, just put a song on the jukebox. Maybe like he kind of feels like a Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus kind of guy. Like super
fractured my thumb.
Yeah, totally. And he's like, let's get ripped, and then just does this, and then hits his thumb on the jukebox or something. It's just
this shit only happens in baseball, guys. It only happens in baseball. These kind of freak injuries only happen in baseball.
Guys, it's I don't want to say devastating in that's a weird word to use. Like, I don't know that it's devastating, but like with Shane Bieber not being what he was last year, just completely dominant. Aaron Savale has been amazing, so hopefully he can continue that. But especially with the fact that you now have major questions at the 4 and 5 spot. You're running bullpen days every 5th day, and Tristan McKenzie has not been the answer, though he pitched really well tonight. To take away, you've got 3 really good starters for sure. To remove one of them for a month in the season, they've got some work to do, and they're going to have to figure out which of these guys that can come up from somewhere in the minors and give them these innings, or whether it's a guy like Cal Quantrill, who's been really good out of the bullpen. It's been confusing to me why he hasn't been a starter, but they got work to do to figure out how they're going to cope with this for a month.
Plesac's been your best pitcher. He's been your best starter for the last couple of weeks. He has.
Yeah, well, ever since he had those like back-to-back disaster games early in the season, he's been lights out. So, it's disastrous. But, again, with the Indians, get good enough starting pitching to get you to that back end of the bullpen. The back end of the bullpen is dominant, and so they will get you a lot of wins. Offensively, though, you can't have nights like tonight. Offensively, you cannot have nights like tonight, and they do it too damn much.
Against the Tigers.
You can't go up against the goddamn Tigers and get shut out. What are you guys doing? And it just goes back to it really is baseball in general, but like the way the game is played, like you got so many guys on this team. Like look at the stats, look at the numbers on this team. 220, 230. Like where are the hitters on this team? Where are the guys? Like just give me a collection of guys that are just trying to get on base for the love of Christ, please. And they don't. They're just all out there trying to mash home runs, pulling the ball. Like when I see like a guy like Cesar Hernandez comes up and they put a shift on, or even Jose Ramirez, our best or second best home run hitter.
Yeah.
He's our best hitter.
Yeah.
And they put a shift on and he can't beat it.
Nope.
Like, it is so annoying to me that you can't. This offense should absolutely, without question, between a little bit more small ball, stolen bases, whatever. This offense, there's no reason for it to not be able to generate some runs every game. To get shut out by the Tigers is it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
And now with Plesac out for a month, that just puts that much more pressure on this offense to pick up these pitchers, these bullpen pitchers, or whoever they figure out is going to start for them for the next month.
Yeah, it's crazy, but again, it was an awful offseason. Yeah. There was a lot of downgrading happening all over the roster. And again, it was filled with a lot of, and again, I'm going to give him credit for Harold Ramirez because I think he's played really well with us, but it was filled with a lot of like stopgap. Let's hope this guy is an answer for us. Hopefully that's how the offseason went. It's working out so far, but we'll see. We're about 50 games into an 162 game season. And right now they're just out of first place. They look like a playoff team, so we'll see what happens. But hopefully they can keep it up with Zach Plesac. So Indians lose tonight, 1-0 to the Tigers.
Yeah.
Again, game 4 of that series is tomorrow afternoon. I love PS during the era of COVID, which I know a lot of people are going back to work now, but I still work from home. Holy shit, do I love day baseball games. It is the great Thursday or Wednesday during the day when I can just chuck a baseball game on the TV. It's amazing.
Mike, before we move on, okay, because I had a feeling we were moving on here soon. I have put together, in light of this fantastic reason why Plesac is going to be out for a month now, I have put together a list of some of the funniest and weirdest baseball injuries that have ever happened. Because, like I said before, this kind of stuff only happens in baseball. So I put together a list of the few of the greatest, weirdest injuries that baseball has ever had. Are you interested?
Let's do this.
Okay. Well, an old Cleveland Indians player. Let's start that way. He only played for the Indians for a year. Marty Cordova. Back in 2002, he showed up on the DL. Oh, well, sorry, he was reported as being day-to-day because he decided to fall asleep in a tanning bed. And he fell asleep in a tanning bed.
God.
His face got burnt to shit so much, the doctor told him to stay out of the sun. So he could not play until his sunburn was gone. He could not play until his sunburn was gone.
Marty Cordova was. How long did he play for the Indians? He played for the Indians for a while.
He only played for a year or two. I looked up the stats. He only played for a year or two.
Really?
It wasn't much. Yeah.
He was with the Indians in 2001 for sure.
Yeah, 2001.
I'm looking that up. I feel like he was with the Indians for like a few years. He's just a handsome Italian man that had to keep his tan up.
He just had to keep his tan up. Yeah,
he only played for the Indians 2000. That was it.
Great.
Wow.
Well, that was a big year.
He was good that year, though.
Nice playoff year.
He had 301, 20 homers. Yeah, he had a good year that year.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
That's a good injury. That is
terrific. Well,
when you're trying to look your finest, I get it. You can't blame the guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, he had a gym tan laundry, just like fucking Jersey Shore people. Anyway,
Cabs are here.
So Cabs here. Okay, moving on. We'll just go through a couple of these because they kind of get redundant. But Ricky Henderson got frostbite on his foot in August because he fell asleep with an ice pack on his foot. So there we go.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt Cain had a run-in with a sandwich when he was trying to cut it. He did. He ended up on the 15
with a sandwich.
he
Listen here, Kane. I'm a turkey on rye. Let's do this.
Let's go.
You ran into the wrong sandwich.
Apparently, he dropped the knife and then he tried to catch it, and then he just cut his hand wide open and ended up on the 15 ADL.
That'll happen.
Will Smith, Joe, you can sympathize with this. Will Smith tore his LCL while trying to take off his shoes. I mean, I know it's not pants, but he was trying to take off his shoes. He was doing the thing. He was doing the thing where he like crossed his leg like this and was like taking off the shoe and like pulling it off. Well, apparently he pulled it too hard and tore his LCL.
Who's taking their shoes off like that?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
Sir. Hey, can you
What?
take your shoes off standing up? Sir, get out of my face.
Get
the hell out of my face.
Go fuck yourself. Okay.
That feels
I'm
like,
going to sit down and probably need a nap afterwards.
yeah, that's like a 4-year-old thing to do. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Unless
Alright,
these things are Velcro.
Yeah.
So David
That's the one
Price,
day that he had. Yeah. Go on.
David Price and Joel Zumaya of the the Tigers at the time were out a couple of games, got benched because they got a case of carpal tunnel from playing video games too much.
That'll happen.
David,
Understandable.
David Price.
You guys,
David
you
Price,
guys remember
Fortnite?
Joel Zumaya? That guy was a beast.
No.
You don't remember?
He
He was their closer. He threw like 103 miles an hour. He was a beast.
Wow.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, and apparently he was thrashing too hard on Guitar Hero, as the reports go.
Oh my
And
god.
that's how he got carpal tunnel.
David Price back there is the Ringo Starr on Rock Band.
Yeah.
This next one might be one of my favorites. Glenn Allen Hill. You guys remember Glenn Allen Hill?
Love Glenn Allen Hill.
Yeah. Well, he ended up on the 15-day DL with bruises on his feet, legs, and elbows because he fell through a glass table. Why did he fall through a glass table, you ask?
Go on.
Because he had a nightmare that he was being attacked by spiders. So he rolled off the couch. He rolled off the couch.
Oh.
Shit only happens in baseball, guys. It only happens in baseball. All
Glenn Allen
Allen
played for the Indians in the early 90s. And I don't remember, like, he was famous with the Cubs for hitting like 3-mile home runs. Like Glenn Allen Hill would hit like 500-foot home runs regularly. I don't remember him doing that with the Indians. But oh my God, there's videos of Glenn Allen Hill. It was probably because his petrifying fear of spiders, he wanted to hit the ball as far as possible and run around the bases and then like get off the field as quickly as he could.
Yeah. He visualized and attacked the baseball because he thought every baseball was a spider.
All right, a couple more.
Okay. Couple more. Here we go. Sammy Sosa once threw out his back and strained a ligament in his back because he sneezed so hard.
Okay. That'll happen.
Yeah.
I believe that.
He sneezed so hard. He sneezed so hard that he needed an epidural. He needed an epidural to relieve some of the back pain.
Yeah.
Allergy season, I guess.
Sneezing, childbirth, all good reasons for epidurals.
Well, yeah, whatever.
You're about
Right,
the same,
Kevin
right?
Mitchell. Kevin Mitchell, power hitter back in the 90s as well. In the era of the Glenn Allen Hills. See, he chipped his tooth when he tried to microwave a donut, and the donut hardened up so hard he needed a root canal, and he missed a couple of games.
Wait.
He microwaved
The
the
donut
donut.
got hard?
Yeah, how does the
From
donut
microwave?
get hard in the microwave?
I don't know, but that's the
Microwave
story.
for like 7
That's the
minutes?
story.
What an
Wait,
oversight.
did he put it in the toaster?
What a huge oversight. Are you kidding me? How do you like
It's so cheap.
7 seconds max on a donut? Are you kidding? What?
I know.
It's like Pop-Tart level. Like you just a little like zhuzh of heat, right? You don't need a lot.
Yeah.
What are you doing for
How
you?
you do that?
Oh, I can just
Like,
see him.
I
I can see him standing in his microwave, like just trying to
right?
decide in his own head.
It is like
How long
Microwave a donut.
should I microwave this for? You know what?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go 10 minutes and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there wasn't a preset, so he just chose like the baked potato preset.
Holy God!
Oh my god!
And then he's like,
Luckily, what?
and then he goes, oh, when I bit it, when I realized I chipped my tooth, it hurt so bad, I just threw the donut away. Like, oh, now you're gonna waste a donut, you fucker.
Oh my god!
Well, no, that thing easily could have been used as like charcoal in the grill outside or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so good. How do you microwave a donut and make it hard? How long does that? You know what?
Like I was gonna say, we gotta try it.
We have donuts in the kitchen right
We
now.
gotta try it. Well,
That's
that's not what it says. Let's get like an old Krispy Kreme from a gas station.
fair. We're gonna try it. We're gonna
Yeah.
experiment. How long do you have to microwave a donut? First, how does the microwave survive that? How does the microwave
Who
survive it?
even knows?
Go for a while.
Shit. All right. Did you got one last good one?
I got one last good one, and this guy had the toughest luck of anybody with these silliest injuries. But he was also my hero in the end, and I'll tell you why. But first, let's chronologically go with Jeremy Affelt, the pitcher.
Yep.
Right. So in 2011, he really had a battle with some frozen hamburger patties. So he tried to split the frozen hamburger, like everybody's done this. He
Right.
tried to
Yep.
split the hamburger patties with a knife, and he gashed his hand. But he gashed his hand so bad he needed surgery to repair nerve damage in his
Oh
hand.
my god, dude! Butter knife.
Yeah. Butter-
Butter knife.
I know.
Oh
So
my
then,
Were they like frozen or like hermetically sealed together?
frozen, like stuck together patties in a box. You pull it out and you're trying to go.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. So then a year later, his then 4-year-old son, he comes home from a road trip. His then 4-year-old son runs up to him, gives him a hug. He shifts his weight to like catch his son, but his knee pops and he sprains his MCL, and he's out for 30 days. 30 days he was out for.
Wow.
So there's that.
I gotta say,
So then
you're
Oh,
still going.
it's
Is this
the same
still
guy?
Jeremy Affelt?
Well, yeah. Oh, there's more. Then in 2015, he was playing with his kids in a lake, slipped off an inflatable platform, and screwed up his left knee. So there's that. That's the end of the chronological injuries with him. Here's where he's my hero. So this is in 2018. His dog was apparently choking on some food, right?
Okay.
Jeremy opens the dog's mouth, shoves his hand down his throat as far as he could, grabs the food, and pulls it out, right?
Yeah.
So he saves his dog there, but like I guess blood like splattered everywhere. Like he really got down. I mean, he might have got some like nerves or
Jeez.
veins or some shit like that.
Oh my
Right?
god.
So he said
He
later
said
on
the
the
dog
dog
for a
comes up to him like I guess he like blinks. I guess he just like blinks to him and then like just goes limp again in his arms. So Jeremy gives his dog mouth to mouth resuscitation, and then after like 20 minutes he thought he was going to give up. After like 20 minutes the dog came back to life, throws him in his truck, gets him to the vet. Dog is still alive today.
Hey, Jeremy, I don't even know how this conversation started, but good on you, Jeremy Affelt.
Wow.
You were a mediocre baseball player, but you reached your hand down a dog's throat
Yeah,
that
you
one time.
Did some things.
You did.
Sounds like in all these stories he caused more damage than like if he wasn't in these situations, like everything would be fine. It sounds like he's just going into rooms and just fucking shit
If
up.
it was literally anybody else,
Yeah.
things would have been fine. But
Yeah.
Jeremy Affelt, he fucks up the game.
Yeah.
He will mess up the situation. All right, Chad, that was awesome. Thank you for the research there. I appreciated that. Let's get off of baseball now. Again, a lot of season left. And again, in good news, things are open now. So Indians, Progressive Field, wide open. Go buy tickets. Go down to the game. I'm going to go down to the game. I'm sure we'll be posting about being at some games. So if you ever want to have some garage beers or Progressive Field beers with the garage beers guys, whatever, we'll be down there. But let's shift on because we are – Chad, can you hear us? I think we lost Chad.
He'll come back.
I think we lost Chad. He's going to be pissed to miss this part. But you know what? He's going to be right back. So while he is gone, we are going to advertise for a second. Check this out. Look at Look at Garage Beers T-shirts. It says Chad's back, but I don't know if his internet's working. We're going to keep trying to get him in until he can get in. So shout out to our buddy Matt Pfeffer down with 614 Hockey. We've talked about them a lot. We're going to work with 614 Hockey a lot. But Matt Pfeffer, over the last couple weeks, officially got us the Garage Beers podcast T-shirts. Joe's got one now. We got to get one over to Chad. The hats are coming in the next few days. So we'll have hats. Once we have everything in-house, we have a website that we're going to use, and we're going to put it all up. You guys can get your Garage Beers hats, Garage Beers T-shirts, and again, any proceeds we get from that is just going to go to help us kind of make the show better for you guys. So hopefully you like it. The shirts are awesome. They're soft. They're like real high quality, good, soft T-shirts. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, they're nice.
I would wear it. I will.
You're going to wear it.
Yeah.
So anyways, while you were gone, Chad, I figured before we get into our next topic, because you and I are going to have a little fun with this one, but I figured we'd talk about our Garage Beers merch, our buddy Matt Pfeffer getting that over to us again. We'll let you know. Stay tuned to our social when that gets released. So Chad, we're getting off baseball now, and we're going to go into a very fun time of the year. We're going to spend a minute on both of these things because there's 2 playoffs going on right now, and frankly, they've been phenomenal.
Oh my God, they've been amazing.
I'm going to say something real quick, and we're going to start with hockey, but
Okay.
I'm going to say something real quick.
Okay.
Especially hockey fans. And I don't disagree with this. Other than saying I feel like it puts down other sports too much. Hockey fans love to be like, oh, yeah, Matt, look who's here. Look who came and joined us. Matt Pfeffer turned it on at the right time. Let's go, Matt.
Sure did, baby. All right,
Let's
Matt.
go. I think hockey fans do this to a little bit too much of an extreme, but here's what I mean. Hockey fans always say, oh my God, the Stanley Cup playoffs are far and away the best playoffs out there. I don't know that I disagree that they're the best, but like I think it's weird that I feel like it sometimes puts the other playoffs down a little bit, because I'm going to tell you what, I've been watching a ton of the Stanley Cup playoffs. I've been in the hospital for the last week, so I've had nothing to do but sit there and watch these playoffs. I've been watching a ton of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I've been watching a ton of the NBA playoffs. And I will tell you guys, I don't know if you've been watching, the NBA playoffs so far have been phenomenal. Absolutely an absolute blast to watch. The series have been great. There's been a little bit of everything. So we're going to get into a little bit of both of those. But let's start with the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I'm going to let you, Chad, I'm going to let you start and get whatever you need to get off your chest for a minute here, because obviously something happened just as we were going on the air tonight that I'm sure you want to talk about. So why don't you just start, and then I'll own you. I'll own you.
Mike's over here trying to vie for the 2022 Stanley Cup Penguin champions.
Oh, 1 down, 1 to go, baby. The Pittsburgh Penguins have been eliminated for the 2nd year in a row by the New York Islanders. Goodbye, Pittsburgh. See you later. Boston is the only team left that needs to get eliminated, and that's it. That'll be it for me. I don't even care who wins after that. I would just enjoy the rest of these playoffs because Pittsburgh is out, and then hopefully Boston gets eliminated. We'll see. I mean, New York's playing them in the next round here, so we will see. But the series have been great, guys. I mean, Carolina and Nashville has become. I mean,
there he goes again. Chad's internet is amazing. But you know what? While Chad's gone, I'm going to throw this up there. Because, Boomer, I love you, man. I love you, little Boomer. But this is the shit I hate about the people that talk about the NBA.
Oh.
Because I completely disagree with you. And Chad, we're going to welcome you back in, and we'll let you get back to your rant. But we're talking about the comment that little Boomer made because I 100% disagree with it.
What?
It's like this take that people have about the NBA that is just, to me, it's so nonsensical. NBA players are some of the biggest freak athletes on the planet. And you guys are crazy if you don't think that there is flopping going on in every sport. And if there is an embellishment going on, whether it is the one you don't see it a lot in is baseball because there's not really contact. But like there's flopping that happens in football. There's flopping that happens in basketball. There's certainly flopping that happens in hockey, and it happens frequently, which is fine. It's a part of the sport. Like there's this, I think it's very much a fan take, and I'm a fan, but I try to view it from a different perspective. It's a very much a fan take that there's a purity to these games that the players don't feel. Like fans view these games as like pure and you play hard all the time. And if you get knocked down, you get back up. When you're a player, like when you're a player in the NBA playoffs or you're a player in the NHL playoffs or whatever, you know what you care about? Winning. That is all you care about. God. So that means if you take a fall a little bit, if you embellish something, if you're playing hockey and like you're going to act like you got hooked or slashed or tripped or whatever, you're going to do it. And you're going to do it because you think it's going to help your team win. It's the same thing in basketball. It's the same. I don't like the, we deal with it a lot because LeBron isn't here. When LeBron takes a poke to the eye and he falls down, people, oh, LeBron. I'm like, man, I don't give a shit. Like LeBron he's going to have a statue in Cleveland. Like, why are we to badmouth on LeBron? I don't know. I just don't like how people act like the NBA is the only place where that happens. Joe, you look like you have something to say about that.
And maybe because this is just the most easily comparable thing ever.
Ever.
You have not Kevin James. Good God.
Kevin James. Paul Blart. Paul Cobb.
You have LeBron James going down for, what is that? A minute and 40 seconds for an eye poke. You can at least get up, go to the bench. Like you also, unless they were losing at that point, which the game was close, I guess, but like, you know, there's not a ton of benefit if your team has any type of momentum to take that kind of time off. You have Kevin Pillar that got beamed in the face with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, was on the ground for 34 seconds.
Right. Again, it's not.
What do you mean it's not comparable?
No,
he could have been on there for
baseball
20 minutes.
Nobody
would have batted.
Because baseball isn't comparable in that they're not going to call a foul. There isn't going to be anything that happens because of it.
What happens in hockey when somebody goes down? They get off right away.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
They could not get off the ice faster.
No.
Unless they're literally unable to put a single ounce of weight on their leg.
It's nonsense.
What?
Embellishment happens in hockey and basketball.
You know what happens in hockey?
What?
Penalty.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
But a lot of times an embellishment will help get a penalty. Like you guys are crazy if you act like embellishments don't happen in hockey. How many times have you been watching a game? Put yourself in your own shoes. All right, little boomer. Put yourself in your own shoes. You're watching a Jackets game, and I don't know, a very borderline penalty occurs, and you, as a Jackets fan, are screaming that it's an obvious penalty. It may not have been. It's the embellishment that gets it over. Like it's a part of sports. It's a part of literally every sport except for maybe baseball because they don't need it. Go ahead, Chad.
Here's like two things about the NBA, and it's exactly why I'm not like why my interest has faded a lot over the years. I'll never understand, and this is me. I sit courtside because I work down there, so I have a real close up view of it. I'll never understand what is and isn't a foul in today's NBA. I won't. I'll never understand.
But that isn't the players. That's not the embellishment. That's okay. I will tell you this. I'm a guy that has officiated, and you guys have heard me say this. I've officiated every sport but hockey. I've officiated every sport but hockey. Basketball is by far the hardest.
Oh, 100%.
By far. By far the hardest to officiate.
100%. No, I totally agree with that. The other thing is there's absolutely zero parity in basketball. Like, yeah, these first round matchups are probably not are nice. They're probably nice for an NBA fan to watch, but you know exactly who's going to be there in the end. You do.
Maybe.
You know
who?
No, there's
so
no
who's
maybe.
Who's going to be there? Who's going to be there?
It's going to be the
Like,
Lakers, the Lakers and the Nets.
Wait a minute. Are you super confident that the Lakers are going to beat the Suns?
Yeah.
What? No.
Why
would you be super confident in that? Why would you be?
Why would I be?
Because the Suns have looked just as good as the Lakers through 2 games. Are you super confident that the team with the best record in basketball, the Utah Jazz, had the best record in basketball? You super confident they're going to beat the Memphis Grizzlies?
Well, the Bucks have had the best records for the past 2 years, and they never made it past the first round. But it's different. Playoffs are different.
I'm just saying, like, again, I'm
off topic of what.
No, let me bring us back. I am an NBA fan. I like the NBA. Chad, you've said many times you're not a big NBA guy. That's okay. Like, I don't fault you for that. Like if you're not a big soccer guy or whatever, it's fine. I love, and this is the other thing. Boomer, I'm going to keep calling you out on this. I'm going to keep calling you out on your comments on the NBA because I grew up with the NBA, the 80s and the 90s too. I love the NBA, the 80s and the 90s. Today's game is weak. No, it isn't. Today's game is 1,000 times better than it was back then. 1,000 times. The guys that play in today's NBA are skilled beyond belief. You don't have these big, slow freaking, like, I just always think of Bill Laimbeer. Oh, Bill Laimbeer. Bill Laimbeer sucked. Bill Laimbeer wouldn't make it within 40 yards of an NBA arena in today's game. But he was tough and physical. Listen, it's a different game. It is a different game. And the speed and the skill. Like, you remember when Arvydas Sabonis was shooting threes back in like the 90s? People were like, whoa, this 7-footer's out here shooting threes. What happens now? Kevin Durant has the handles of a point guard. He's 7 feet tall and he can shoot from everywhere on the court. Like, it's just evolved. So I don't know. And again, Aaron Williams here, our buddy, he said, I think soccer's the worst. But yeah, it is. But that's part of their game. It's an embellishment. It's part of sports. So again, to go back, and we're going to get into the NHL.
But it's also that reason.
It's also, that's the reason that everyone's pissed about it. Nobody wants to see LeBron on the floor for 80 seconds. Nobody wants to see people flopping in soccer for a minute. No fan wants to see it. It's awful for the sport. I don't care if there's some advantage your team gets for that 30 seconds, extra seconds on the floor. That's bullshit. Nobody paying to watch the sport wants to see that. Not a single person. And I will eat that one because I am the king of saying the only reason sports are what they are is because of the fans. Your job is to put on for the fans. Right. However, when you're in the moment, no, Boomer, come on, man. I do like you being able to say that, but nah, you're all right. In the moment, I agree with you. But when you're the competitor out there and you feel like you can get a call, you also have to remember in basketball, there's levels of fouls, right? Just like soccer, there's levels of foul. Why is embellishment so big in soccer? Because a regular foul can go from a regular foul to a yellow card if you embellish it enough. If you make it look bad enough to the ref, you never know. Right. They might come up and give you a yellow card. Which is a fault to literally every sport but baseball and hockey. Right. Hockey doesn't have the levels of foul. They kind of do. Hockey's the only sport that has a penalty for embellishment. Right. No, that's not true. You can get a technical foul in the NBA for embellishment. Absolutely. Well, anyways, but it's the same thing in the NBA. A regular foul can go to a flagrant one real easy with that embellishment. It's just, guys, it's a part of the sport. But having said that, like, I have had a great time. To go back to the beginning, and we're going to get into hockey, and I know Chad's loving the fact that Pittsburgh lost and they're out of the playoffs, and I'm going to talk about it for a minute too, because we talk a lot of Blue Jackets here, and I'm not going to lie to you. Being on here with Chad, being on here with Joe, being on here with the special guests we've had from the Blue Jackets, whether it's Nick Foligno or Jean-Luc Rompier or Jody Shelley, or we've had like a ton of Blue Jackets people on here, and hopefully we have more.
it has turned me into a Blue Jackets fan, but I've been a Penguins fan my whole life. And I love the Penguins. But like, it's a crazy thing, guys. I know the Penguins are one of the most hated teams in the NHL. This shit's coming to an end. Like the Pittsburgh Penguins, as a Penguins fan,
what's the city of Pittsburgh going to do?
Who knows?
They have two.
Well, I don't give a shit about them. I don't give a shit about the city of Pittsburgh.
It is kind of crazy, though. Whatever, if you feel bad about, what do you feel about Pittsburgh as a whole, but like they have two absolutely iconic franchises that are both kind of in their twilight years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know, like Chad, I don't know, man. I want to hear your opinion on this. I don't know what they do. Obviously, like Sidney Crosby isn't going to go anywhere. No. But like Malkin, okay. Like, is he Letang? Like, today's game was so stereotypical Pittsburgh, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Of the last 2 years. Pittsburgh comes out on fire.
Yeah.
They come out on fire. They're playing well, but as they've done all year, they score a goal their opponent right after. Like they go, Pittsburgh goes up 1-0, and then immediately it's 1-1. Then they go up 2-1, and immediately it's 2-2. Then they go up 3-2, and the Islanders score 3 goals in 3 minutes. I looked down at my phone. We were sitting outside by the fire. I'm teaching my son how to ride a bicycle on his 4th birthday.
Yeah,
I'm teaching him how to ride a bike. I look at my phone. It goes from 3-2 to 5-2. And I'm like, oh, it's okay, or 5-3. Sorry, 5-3. I'm like, well, that's the end of that.
Yeah,
the dynasty in Pittsburgh is over, and that means the run of one of the. I don't care. I know we've had a lot of talks about him on this podcast, especially with Brandon Dubinsky. But one of the all-time greatest players to ever play the sport is Sidney Crosby, and that's coming to an end.
Yeah, that's undeniable.
Yeah, no, so it's coming to an end. I mean, the Pens are getting older, especially in their top 6. I mean, Sid's not going to go anywhere. Yeah, little boomer. But Sid's not going to go anywhere. But Gino is I think he's on the brink. I mean, they're on the brink of having to tear this down because that defense all year, and Aaron's goaltending too. Jari was awful to begin the year. I mean, he came on as of late, but he kind of faltered a little bit as he did falter as the series went on. He was pretty good in those first 2 games, but yeah, they're getting older in their top forward. So it's really going to come a time to where they're going to have to think about kind of retooling this team. Letang is on the decline. He's been on the decline the last couple of years. I mean, I know he's had a huge injury history. But he can't. His coverage skills and his back in the defensive zone are severely declining. And like you said, and like Aaron said, it's goaltending. So it's Pittsburgh has a lot of problems that they're going to have to deal with between the like I said, the Swiss cheese on defense, the goaltending, and getting older up front. So I don't know.
Listen, there's things to still love about Pittsburgh, right? You're still going to have Sidney Crosby, and he's still one of the best players in hockey.
Sure.
Maybe one of the most underrated players in hockey is Jake Guentzel. Jake Guentzel's a star. Like he's a star hockey player. He is a sniper. The dude scores goals. He is an elite goal scorer in the NHL. Right. So you've still got him, but guys, like you've got this team built around these cornerstone guys like Evgeny Malkin.
Yeah.
Evgeny Malkin shows up once every 3 games. Like he's just not there anymore. And defensively, the funny thing is, as a Penguins fan, nobody makes plays defensively. And the goaltending is rough. It's just the era of the assumption that Pittsburgh's going to be there at the end of the year is coming to an end. And it's crazy.
Well, it's because that's because anytime you have Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin on the ice together, you're going to have a chance to win.
Kind of.
Yeah, but I mean, outside of Malkin and Crosby, who are getting older, and Guentzel, Brian Rust, where's your scoring?
It's rough.
I don't know.
So the Pittsburgh Penguins have a phenomenal year regular season, but they exit to the Islanders, who aren't even that good of a team. They're going to get smashed in their next series, whoever it's against. But
And look at this. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Gino is a trade candidate this offseason. I mean,
he's got to be.
He's got 1 year left on his deal. Then he's a UFA, and he's 35.
And the conversations about trading him have lasted for years. Now, I agree with Matt here. Matt says Pittsburgh will reload, and they always do. They will. They'll make trades that help them reload. They're not going to go into this like deep dive rebuild. But you are going to get to a point where Sidney Crosby's gone. You are going to get to a point where Malkin's gone. And there is going to come a time where it isn't going to be as easy. It's easy for them to reload when you have Sidney Crosby sitting at the top of your line, right? Like, it's easy to reload the players underneath him. When he's not there anymore, it's harder to reload. So, again, I don't want to spend this whole time on Pittsburgh.
Well, I think one of the main factors that you have to think of is Rutherford isn't there anymore, and Ron Hextall did an okay job in Philadelphia, right. But it's going to be interesting to see the moves he's able to make in Pittsburgh if they are going to reload, like our friend Matt said. So
let's move down, because not a great showing at all by Pittsburgh, but the most shocking showing of the playoffs so far, the craziest showing of the playoffs so far, the Edmonton Oilers got their asses handed to them.
Yeah.
Like, not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Absolutely destroyed by the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah.
To the point where Wayne Gretzky has since stepped down from his position with the Oilers. He's jumping onto the TNT broadcast team, which is awesome, by the way. Because if you're Wayne Gretzky, isn't there a part of you that's like, why the fuck do I need this? I'm going to go talk about the sport and get paid millions. What happened with the Edmonton? How does that Edmonton Oilers, like, what?
Well, the thing is with Edmonton, and it's been the story since McDavid and Draisaitl have been there. They're a two-man show with an old goaltender in Mike Smith. I mean, I know Smith wasn't the goaltender there, ever since McDavid has been there, but that's all it is. It's been a two-man show. They have no scoring depth. The defense has been bad. The defense has always been bad, and they're still trying to figure out their goaltending situation. It's been this Edmonton. It's been the same story with Edmonton ever since what they call the lottery line with Taylor Hall, Jordan Eberle, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Yeah. Their top line, maybe even their top six, has been able to score, but they refused to draft any defense or any goaltending. So whenever they've won games, it's always had to have been 5-4, 4-3, 6-5, 7-5. So they've always had to try to outscore people, and that was no different in this series. Winnipeg defended in layers against McDavid and Draisaitl, and that's exactly how they shut them down. And for those people who might not understand that, defending in layers, it's basically, think of it, say it like basketball terms. Winnipeg basically put on a half-court press, and Edmonton couldn't figure out how to beat it. And that's that's all you have to do. When McDavid and Draisaitl don't have a point in their games, their record was insane. It was like 232-5 or something like that. When McDavid and Draisaitl don't score, don't have a point in the game. So it's insane.
It's crazy, just because Edmonton is that team that every year we're just going to talk about Edmonton, because you've got some of the best players in the league playing for them. But holy shit, to flame out again like this, right? Like, it's the opposite too, right? We just talked about the Penguins. Well, the Penguins are old, and they got a lot of guys running on a team. You trade, you make trades for the Penguins for other old guys just to hope you get one last run out of them, basically.
Yeah.
Edmonton, like, you got young studs. You got to make that work. So I like our buddy Matt's point here. Edmonton, certainly, we've talked a lot about Columbus and the two-headed monster at goaltender. That's not going to last. And they have to rebuild a little bit this year. So one of those goaltenders looks to be on the way out. It would certainly not surprise me to see Edmonton make a play for one of the goaltenders, and they got a lot to pick from there. So that could be kind of fun for Columbus. Yeah. All right, Joe, let's bring you into the conversation here.
Hey.
We got an awesome series. Maybe my favorite series of the playoffs so far has been Nashville and Carolina, because that was supposed to be over before it started. Carolina is a better team than Nashville, but oh shit, your Predators.
It's a little reminiscent of the Blue Jackets Lightning series in the bubble last year, where they were like, you didn't necessarily think that the Blue Jackets were going to come in and be as competitive as they were. And it just made for a good series. I don't think Nashville has a chance in this series. I think, like you said, Carolina is the better team. Like, they are just absolutely an incredible team. I think maybe where Nashville might have an edge and is just overall playoff experience within the team. So maybe that's why they've been able to hang in there.
They've hung so many first-round banners.
Well, yeah, but to an extent, I mean, I feel like that does kind of help you stay in these more intense cutthroat games for longer. And I don't think that Nashville comes. I think they played either tomorrow or Sunday. I can't remember. No, they play tomorrow, don't they?
They play tomorrow.
They play tomorrow.
They do.
It's not. It's Wednesday. I tell you what. I took one day off work, and I think it's the weekend already.
Yep.
God damn.
You gotta work tomorrow, idiot.
Ugh. But no, I think Carolina comes out on top. But it's been at least an entertaining series to watch. I mean,
yes.
Not that Nashville is like gaining momentum for like a huge dynasty run or anything, but like as someone that lives in Nashville and is enjoys watching the Predators, it's been a great series to watch.
And we just, oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Nashville is taking the same approach that Winnipeg was for Carolina.
Exactly.
Or Winnipeg did for Edmonton.
Yes.
Winnipeg for Edmonton. But the difference is Edmonton's a two-man show. Carolina's 4 lines deep.
Yes.
Yes.
So
they are. Carolina is a complete team.
Like Carolina,
so skilled and so fast.
I'm watching them in this slugfest with Nashville, and Nashville's, I think, playing a little bit over their heads, but they're playing great.
Yeah.
It makes me really feel like Carolina could really be the team to beat in the entire NHL. Like, these guys are, I know Boston dominated Washington. I know, Winnipeg comes out and dominates up there in Canada, but like, man, the way this Carolina team plays against a team that's just really cruising like Nashville, Carolina is certainly a team to beat here. Another update from tonight just happened. But David Savard, or as Lil Boomer calls him, Big Daddy Dave Savvy, is heading to the second round. Tampa Bay beats Florida 4-0. That ends that series. So, yeah, another one done. Tampa Bay looking good again, as they do every year. But
that was kind of as expected, though.
Yeah.
Florida wasn't going anywhere this round.
Yeah, I mean, the question was Florida for real? And we found out, guys.
The NHL's weird. Like you have teams with just absolutely incredible season records. Like, I feel like the President's Trophy is a curse for most teams. Not that Florida won that, but like teams with incredible records. Like, if you are not like at core, like maybe like a veteran team or like a team that has experience in the playoffs, it's a literal different league and game when you get to the NHL playoffs.
It's funny what you're saying, because you see team.
Yeah.
And again, I'm used to it with Pittsburgh, even though they've not been good in the playoffs of the last couple of years. But I'm used to watching Pittsburgh kind of coast in at the like 4th seed.
It doesn't matter what they do. It literally doesn't matter if you make the playoffs. It doesn't matter if you're a 4th seed, 6th seed, whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's the good teams. But the teams that are like hot the entire season, they're almost the ones that guaranteed fizzle out in the first round of the playoffs. It's crazy.
Now let's talk about something before we get off of hockey and before we move along. Let's talk about something that happened. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the President's Trophy curse is a thing, Joe. Just so.
Oh, is it really?
Oh yeah.
I'm no joke. I'm like relatively. I'm only like 5 years into like really following hockey. So
yeah, it's a thing.
Let's talk about something that Chad, this got you worked up, and I wasn't real sure why it got you worked up, so I kind of want to talk about it. And again, I've been so disconnected the last couple of weeks, but let's talk about the John Tavares injury up in Toronto. Toronto looking to close out Montreal tomorrow, but John Tavares, that concussion, maybe one of the scariest things I've ever seen in any sport ever. Like, when I see a guy's knee twisted the wrong way or his ankle break or whatever, it doesn't scare me all that much, because it's like, whatever, they'll just surgery, fine. When I saw the trainer pick up John Tavares and then he just kept going backwards and his eyes just floated literally into the stands,
flatline.
I was like, that was one of the scariest things I've ever seen. Chad, you got a little worked up about that. You were no, all right.
I'll get worked up about it.
Joe got worked up.
I'll get worked
Just
up about
because Joey hates Corey Perry.
I fucking hate Corey Perry. And let me tell you, he's been a longtime nemesis of the Predators. At least the years that I followed that team. And it really, like, he was with Anaheim for a couple years, and him and Ryan Johansson were always in, little spats and stuff, whatever. But at the Winter Classic in Dallas, right before the pandemic last year, you guys have probably all seen it, but like Corey Ellis just knocked Ryan Ellis, or Corey Perry knocked Ryan Ellis out with an elbow, and it was incredibly malicious. And it was a pretty similar thing where like everybody in the stadium was just like dead silent. Like it was like a very scary thing to watch, and like they weren't even showing replays of it. Like it was not a very comfortable thing. So I was absolutely belligerent that game. Was just like shouting about how I hate Corey Perry.
He had so many little shots of fireball. Little shots of fireball. Yeah, a lot.
But they just hit so differently. They just little milliliter shots of fireball.
The little ones did hit differently. That's very true.
I mean, I felt bad for him. I felt bad for him in this Tavares thing, though.
This is a little different.
Like, it's very different.
It's very weird that it's the same guy, though. Look, it's an accident, but also it's kind of a positioning thing. I don't know if I'm not completely sold on it. I think if you play maliciously throughout your entire career, the fact that you need someone to hell him back or heaven him back, whatever, like. That's a weird coincidence that hasn't really happened before. But
I felt that the speed of that, I felt so bad for both of them.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing. There was nothing malicious about that. There was nothing. It just was the craziest injury, and who I really feel bad for. I mean, to take John Tavares away from the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
I mean, this is if you are a Maple Leafs fan, you're like, this is our year.
Yeah.
Finally, they've put together the Maple Leafs are a goddamn near impeccable team. They do everything well. And to take John Tavares and literally bash his face in so bad that he's out, like a severe concussion.
Yeah.
What a devastating loss for that team.
Yeah, they pushed all their chips to the middle with the moves they made at the trade deadline, and I mean he's their captain. I mean he's their leader. To take him off the team was it could be devastating. I mean they still have plenty of firepower on that team, but man, oh man. I mean if anything, it's going to give them a little bit extra motivation because you see a lot of guys come out and say Mitch Marner, we're playing for him now. Nick Foligno fought Corey Perry.
Right.
After that hit, even though I mean I don't even think it was. I even think Nick knew that like it wasn't malicious, but it was just kind of like to reset everything.
I don't buy any breath that wasn't somewhat malicious, somewhat in the back of his mind. Like he is a definition of dirty player, like awful for the sport 100%. Kind of vibe. Like there's no way that there wasn't something there. You could have dove out of the way. There's no way that something couldn't have been done in that exact moment. I'm not convinced of that.
I don't know.
I won't. I'm not going to deny he's a dirty player. That's for sure. But in that situation, I'm not so sure.
All right, so guys, here's my question. You've got the Islanders have moved on, Boston has moved on, Colorado has moved on, Vegas and Minnesota are still going. Toronto looking to close out Montreal. Winnipeg smashes Edmonton. Carolina looking to close out Nashville, and Tampa Bay beats Florida. Has anything changed in your mind as far as who's your favorite? Like Chad, knowing what you know now, has anything changed with how you feel these playoffs are going to go?
God, at the beginning, I thought it was going to be, like I said, I wanted I had who I wanted in the cup and who I thought was going to be in the cup. I wanted Florida and Edmonton in the cup. But obviously, that's not going to happen anymore. But when I said who I think is going to be in the cup is Tampa and Vegas. I'm not going to move off of Tampa, although Carolina would not surprise me. But I was actually getting to that, Aaron. But the way Colorado handled St. Louis in that first round,
Right.
And if Vegas is able, if Vegas is able to close out Minnesota here in the next two games, I think whoever comes out of that series is going to be to win the cup. They're just.
I know that the Caps were going up Boston up against Boston the first round. I didn't think the Caps were going to get just absolutely gossed,
just smoked,
like that.
Yeeted out of the playoffs.
That was a little surprising to me.
Sorry, I used a TikTok term.
I was
yeet.
Yes. I still think Colorado is going to make it to the finals. I kind of thought they were from the beginning. They're too fast of a team. Like they just have so much depth with them. I don't really know who's going to come out of the East anymore, or not the East.
Should we be talking like? I don't know that I think we should. Should we talk? Should somebody bring up Winnipeg for a second? Like, I understand that Edmonton's a two-man show. I understand that Edmonton has a lot of holes outside of but at the same time, Edmonton plays a dominant season, like a really good season, and Winnipeg just destroys them in the playoffs. Should we be talking about Winnipeg a little bit with one of the best goalies in hockey?
And you know what? They were bad down the stretch going into the playoffs. But, if they're able to make it past Toronto, because Toronto is going to close out the Habs at some point. If they're able to make it past Toronto, then I think you do. I think you do have to put them in as part of the conversation. But the second round series I'm looking forward to the most is Colorado and Vegas, for sure.
Yeah,
I love how for sure. But I love how you're like, if they close this, that's how the playoffs work, Chad. Like, if they close out enough teams, they're going to win the Stanley Cup. So yes, we should probably talk about them. Like, what?
Well, no. I meant like if Winnipeg is able to beat Toronto, I think we have to talk about because I think Vegas or Colorado is going to be the team coming out of the West. I think we have to talk about them seriously putting up a fight against one of those two teams, whoever they do meet. You know what else is going to be interesting, by the way? Canada's COVID protocols. Like, where are they going to when they get down to play whoever?
Well, I think they've already figured that. They've already figured that out. So they'll figure it out.
All right.
And let's also not forget that Boston looked absolutely incredible. And I hate the Bruins, but holy shit, did they look good.
Carolina or Tampa will take them out.
Hopefully. Or Nashville. I'm just kidding.
Yeet.
Yeah, right.
Listen, it's been awesome. I do want to spend 2 minutes, and then Chad, I want to get to your poll. So we're gonna kind of wrap things up here close. So get your poll ready, Chad. But I do also want to spend 2 minutes. Like, I think it's wrong for us to just sit and talk hockey and not talk about these NBA playoffs because they have been spectacular. Like, again, even if you're not an NBA fan, I think hockey fans can be a little, hockey is the best, so we only want to talk about hockey. But the NBA playoffs have been phenomenal so far. You've got really good first round series going on. The Knicks and the Hawks series so far, it's only 2 games in, has been one of my favorite playoff series I think I've ever watched. You have everything. You've got a guy, Julius Randle has become one of the most likable players in the NBA. He just won the Most Improved Player award. You've got Trae Young shushing the crowd at Madison Square Garden. And then the Knicks come out tonight and take the game 2 to even the series. Awesome drama going on there. Nothing super fun going to happen in Atlanta because that's a dud of a basketball arena for a game. You've got the Lakers and the Suns tied 1-1. You've got Dallas smoking the Clippers so far. Nobody saw that coming. It's just, this is always one of my favorite times of the year because you've got the NBA and the NHL doing their playoffs simultaneously, and you've got baseball going on. Like, it's hard to beat this time of year.
Yeah, sure. As far as your Knicks comment goes, I think more credit to that goes to Tom Thibodeau.
Sure.
I don't think Julius Randle is half the player he is this year without Tibbs coaching that team. So outside of that, I don't know. Sure. Like I said, like I said, there's zero parity in the NBA. So I don't know. It's hard for me to get into it. It really is.
You've also got Portland and Denver, and if you're not watching that series, I can't help you. Like, if you're a sports fan and you're not watching Portland and Denver, I can't help you. They are two of the most entertaining teams in the entire NBA, and you've got like what last night, Dame Lillard just walks across half court. Dude just walks across half court, takes 2 steps, unloads a 3 and drills it from the logo. From the logo.
Yeah.
Like, just it's been absolutely incredible. And I think there's still a lot of fun to be had. Look out for Memphis. You talk about parity, blah, blah, blah. Look out for the 8-seeded Memphis Grizzlies and the Utah Jazz, because Memphis is going to give Utah Ja Morant in Memphis is a star. They are going to give Utah everything they can handle. So,
okay.
All right, Chad.
Okay.
We've been going at it for an hour and 45 minutes. We don't want to do this too long. So, Chad, you said you had a fun little a pull to end things here tonight. So we're going to end with that before we get out of here.
Maybe we should save for next week. I don't know, because it's kind of like
it's a little late. I introduced it, Chad.
There's a lot of things to get through. Okay. Well, all right, here we go. Well, so this YouGovAmerica.com basically, I don't know why they came up with this idea or what they did, but I love that they did it. But they took a total of 34 animals, right? And they showed people 7 random pairings of animals from the list. This is including humans, by the way, and they pit them.
Did you just say humans?
Humans
with a Y?
And they put them in head-to-head matchups to decide who would win in a fight. Okay. So, according to Americans, an elephant had the biggest win rate out of all of these head-to-head matchups at 74%.
What?
Yeah, an elephant.
Oh, for sure.
What are they?
And this is
playing squirrels.
And this is over a rhinoceros.
Playing what?
To the death? I don't know.
This is over a grizzly bear. It's everything. And now again, a key factor here is this is an unarmed human. So if you're going to fight any one of these animals as a human, you have to fist fight these things. You have to figure out a way to go ahead and kill one of these animals. The only thing, and a human came in 33rd place. By the way, there's total 34 animals. The animal that they think an unarmed human would kill the most, a goose.
Yeah.
Oh, I would kill the shit out of a goose.
Yeah.
So would I.
And they scare. Well, they scare me. But
what? So we're 33rd, you said, or 34th?
Yeah, 33rd.
Of 34.
Oh,
of 34.
What's 30? What's 32?
32? An ostrich.
For real? Like
an ostrich.
I feel like I would kill the shit about an ostrich
Yeah.
too, but I'd be scared about an ostrich. Like,
That's
I'd be
fine.
nervous.
I would grab an ostrich or a goose by their strong fucking necks and just suffocate them into the ground.
But let's not make no mistake. Make no fucking mistake. One of these bastard Canadian geeses comes chasing after me on the sidewalk. I'm running.
What? You're not standing in and kicking it?
No.
See,
Like, first of all, I'm not out here just trying to kill animals. 2, I don't know. I'm not trying to get into that. I'm just trying to go about I'm trying to get a coffee. Leave me alone, goose.
Okay, fine. There's no killing, but in a head-to-head like fight, like you had to fist fight these things. Like a chimpanzee is above an ostrich. Like you're fist fighting a chimpanzee? You know, that thing might
No. If you know anything about chimpanzees, they are vicious.
Yeah, but you have to have
vicious.
But listen, you have to have a plan of attack, though, if you're going to sit here and fight. If you're pitting these things in head-to-head matchups, like what's your move if you're trying to fight a chimpanzee?
But that's what's scary about these animals, guys. That's what's scary is that humans are so mental about how they approach things, and animals are so instinctive about how they approach things. And so a chimpanzee is going to come at me with just nails and teeth and shit. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get out of my own brain in time to beat up a chimpanzee.
Oh, but if something is attacking you, though, you're not in your own brain. You're just thinking, how do I get this thing off of me?
I'm probably thinking run or I don't know, protect the face or something.
Protect the face.
I like our arms
All right.
up to protect.
So, Chad, here's what I want to know. What are the most, like for you, according to you, what are the most egregious animals above humans? Like which animals should not be above humans?
Like that humans could beat in a fight.
Yeah.
Oh God, a coyote? A coyote for sure.
Yeah, totally.
I think we could take coyotes.
Totally.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's a dog. Like, I mean,
A coyote should not be on that list. Like a coyote might scratch and bite you a little bit, but ultimately you can subdue a coyote for sure.
Yeah. A fucking walrus. Okay. Like, I mean, if you have a walrus on land, it's not going to do anything to you.
What?
Yeah, I feel like that's
Yeah,
fair.
it's not gonna chase you down.
Yeah, I'll jump on a
What's it
walrus.
gonna do? What's it gonna
You could take
Oh.
hours walking around it, planning your attack, and then figuring out like the most precise thing to do to it. Are you kidding me? A walrus?
I'll jump on a walrus's slippery ass back and elbow it in the temple.
Are
Like, that's
they?
all I do.
Is this pull for like a CPR dummy or something that are just throwing at the animal?
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you guys seen that? What's the British guy's name? Dave Attenborough.
Yeah.
He does the show about nature or whatever.
Oh,
And
yeah,
there's like I don't know where the fuck it is, but there's a place where walruses like climb up a cliff and then jump off of it and kill themselves. Like I feel like I could take out a
I
walrus.
don't mean to laugh at that.
I feel like I could take out a walrus unless it's falling at me from 800 feet above.
That's
Then
true.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I am effed.
I mean,
All right, what else?
all right. Let's see. I don't know. I feel like I take a kangaroo. I feel like I
Yeah.
could. You're in a boxing match with I would stick my legs in a kangaroo's fucking pouch and just uppercut its jaw.
Gross.
Right.
I feel like the advantage you have over a kangaroo is that eventually you can just grab it.
Although, have you seen the pictures where the kangaroos are like absolutely jacked? Like
Oh yeah, like pit bull, like kangaroo pit bulls.
Yeah, they like are hitting the gym like 5 times a week, like for 4 hours each time.
I think as long as you can avoid a hearty kick to the face, because that'll knock your ass out. As long as you can avoid a hearty kick to the face, if you can grab the kangaroo, that's where the human has the advantage in grabbing. If you can grab and like wrestle it down, then you're all right. But
Sure. And just
I think a
smash its
kangaroo
head
could
into the
stomp your face forever. But anyways, what else?
Yeah, I mean, you got to avoid it. Like you're looking at it like a hyena, a wolf. Okay, I mean those are above unarmed humans. I mean, wolves are. I mean, they're a little bigger than a coyote, I guess. Well, I guess if it's a singular wolf, like if it's a pack of wolves, no, forget it.
No, but I think if you have a singular wolf or hyena, you could make an argument for a human.
Okay,
You can make an argument.
Coyotes are small, but the wolves and I don't know.
And you could rest, like, again, imagine your dog. Your dog is like 7 feet tall. If he was pissed, I feel like you could still wrestle your dog to the ground.
Well, yeah.
I think a wolf is the same.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
I mean, I really,
when do we start? Chad, when do we start getting into like, okay, now you're fucked if you're a human? Because you're obviously not taking out like a grizzly bear.
Well, no, you're not taking out a grizzly bear. Like the top, I would say the top.
What's the top
1,
five?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Read them.
The top 6, you're not fucking with. Like you're not gonna happen.
Who is
But
it?
you also have to figure. So okay, so you top 6 go like this from 1 to 6: elephant, rhinoceros, grizzly bear, tiger, hippopotamus.
Yeah,
and lion.
You're fucked on
And
all
lion.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope.
But you got to figure out a
Hippo,
plan
like
of attack.
nobody
You
has
gotta
the
figure-
sheer strength to do anything to. It's like punching like a
Same thing
punching
as a
bag.
rhinoceros
Yeah.
and an elephant. What are you gonna do?
Poke out his
Yeah,
eyes?
fuck. All right. So what's 7 then? Because you paused
7.
at 6.
7's a crocodile. And the only reason I have that,
I'm eating. I'm
Yeah,
dead.
we ate a crocodile in South Carolina like 2 years ago. We ate crocodile.
well, the only reason I have in my head is like people wrestle fucking crocodiles and alligators
Fair.
all the time.
Gouge the eyes.
Yeah,
Literally,
right?
yeah. Just put
Okay.
your mouth on. I think it's on top, and then you push your mouth down, and then they can't do anything.
Fair.
Yeah, like if you can Happy Gilmore that thing, like oh no, don't start what you can't finish, and then you.
I don't think crocodile should be that high on the list
Oh, it shouldn't. It shouldn't because it's above.
Absolutely.
because
It's
I think
above
you're.
something like a gorilla. It's above.
I was gonna say I think you're missing like a gorilla. Like if you get an angry gorilla versus an unarmed human, you are dying. You are going to die.
Right.
Plus, was it just grizzly bear? Because like polar bear, like there's a lot of bears out there that you're going to get
right
eaten
below
by.
gorilla.
Not panda.
Polar bear's right below gorilla.
A panda bear would crush you.
They're not aggressive.
I'm just saying. Yeah, but if they got mad,
Like, yeah,
what are you
they
going to do?
sat on me, they would, but like I could avoid that.
All right, so Chad, I get off the list.
But then we get to like well, I'll just say this, but like 10 through 20 here, it's like animals you don't want to mess with. Animals you don't want to mess with, but like you could still potentially, if you had the right plan of attack, you could possibly get something. Like here we go, like jaguar, leopard, panther, cheetah, anaconda, buffalo, bull, king cobra, wolf, moose.
I would put so many of those above crocodile. Actually, all of them.
Yes.
Right?
Crocodile 7?
All right, so here's what I want to know. Chad, if you look at that list, and Joe, you've heard the list. What's the animal that they think, besides crocodile, because we've questioned crocodile, what's the animal that they've put on the list where you feel like it's ranked really high, but I feel like I got a chance?
Oh,
man. I would say I would probably say a buffalo.
You got no chance. A buffalo? That thing is going to destroy you.
Listen.
What are you going to do to a buffalo? Yeah, but what are you going to do to a buffalo?
I'll kick it in its huge buffalo fucking balls. Like I'll turn around. A buffalo is so slow that yeah. I'll kick it in its big old ball. Like there's a reason those things are hanging off the back of trucks. Okay? It's because they're easily killed.
Can you like quick go through that list that you just said?
What, like the 10?
The whole goddamn list?
No, just a couple that you just said.
Okay, jaguar,
Buffalo.
leopard, panther, cheetah, anaconda, buffalo, bull, king cobra, wolf.
Never mind. No, we're good. None of them. Absolutely none of them. I can't beat a single damn one of those. One, like if I wasn't like wrapped in my fear of snakes, I would say I could get one of those snakes pretty easily. I hate snakes. I won't touch them. So like I can't beat any of those bigger animals, that's for sure.
But I feel like if you were like embroiled in it, you can't get out of it. So it's like fight or flight, but there's no flight. You just have to fight.
Yeah, probably the king cobra, because then you just take one bite and then you just.
You know what's weird? You know what's weird? You know, I guess maybe the weirdest part about this is the elephant has topped this list at a 74% win rate. That means 26% of humans think they could beat a fucking elephant.
So the animal that sticks out to me, because the snakes are a little different, because like the anaconda is a constrictor, so just don't let it constrict you, and I think you're okay. You've got to avoid a cobra bite, but they're also not big. So hopefully you could get around that.
Not always lethal.
The mammal type creature that I feel like I could beat on that list. I think once you get down to the cheetah, I think a human might have a chance against a cheetah, only because cheetahs are not huge. They are fast. And the claws scare me for sure. But other than that, like they're not the biggest, most powerful creatures on the planet.
What are you gonna do against a claw?
Again, I think you can wrestle like I think you could wrestle a coyote or a wolf to the ground. I think you could wrestle a cheetah.
I can't wait till VR gets to the point where we can try some of this shit out. Like it's so close.
So, anyways, remember that time, guys, that I said I thought I could beat a cheetah? I was fucking wrong.
Way off.
Peter's gonna be pissed. Peter's gonna be pissed. But
Chad, I love the list. I think for sure I would beat a goldfish. And potentially a Siamese cat. But I'm not sure. Anyways, guys, it's been awesome. It's been awesome getting back. We've been going at it for 2 hours, but we've talked sports, we've talked beer, we've talked everything. We're going to get out of here. Before we get out of here, we do our last segment of the week. Yeah. That is our 3 cheers of the week. Yeah. And I'm going to lead us off. Well, you guys think I'm going to lead us off. And I'm going to, you guys have heard a little bit at the beginning of the show, my saga with Miss Lucy, who is, I hope, sleeping upstairs. So I'm going to give a cheer this week to the entire team that work at the Cleveland Clinic, whether it's out here in Avon, whether it's at Fairview Hospital, or whether it's down at main campus. We were at all those places with Miss Lucy, and there were points where we were not sure how it was going to go. and they did everything they could to make sure not only they saved her, but that they figured out what was wrong with her and treated it and got her home safely and happy. And so my cheer of the week goes to the people that work at the Cleveland Clinic. I do not know what I would have done without you this week. So I love you guys and I appreciate you. So that's my cheer of the week. Joe,
Right.
you're here with me.
Wow. Not going to follow that up well.
Sorry.
My cheer goes to the marketing department of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Oh, no.
Every time I go on social media, go on Sports Center, look at just anything baseball related, it's that, Mike Trout is the best and never will be caught ever again.
Yes.
Shohei Ohtani has done something that hasn't been done in fucking 120 years. And but then I go look at the standings and they're 6 games back in 4th place in the West. Like, the Angels suck. I feel so bad for Trout and Ohtani. Like, that sucks.
Yeah, I think there was a tweet about this that were Mike Trout set this career record, and Shohei Ohtani did something that hasn't been done in 100 years, and the Tigers beat the Angels 7-2.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, man, it's so unfortunate because, like, and it's actually, similar with the Blue Jays, where you have Vlad Guerrero Jr. and like Bo Bichette and all them over there, but it's just like, man, like I wish some of these like younger guys are like, getting some success, kind of like the Padres are starting to have finally. But like, whatever is like, I don't understand how the Indians can't have something that's somewhat marketable. But I guess it's only tragedies and tears that come out of our team.
Shout out to the Angels.
Shout out to the Angels.
Yeah,
Chad, what's your cheer?
I'm going to cheer Patty on his 4th birthday.
Hey,
there we go.
Let's go. We made 2 appearances on the
birthday.
show tonight.
Yeah.
All right, Chad. Thank you, Chad. Thank you.
Welcome.
He's
Welcome.
going to appreciate that. I'm going to tell him all about it.
Perfect.
And all he's going to care about is riding his bike. But you know what? I'm going to tell him.
Since I didn't cheer anything family related, not cheer, but it's kind of funny. Have you ever been told to like hurry up and finish that ice cream cake? Because that's not something that's possible. It was like 3 minutes before we were supposed to hop on this podcast, and we're enjoying Patty's birthday ice cream cake. And Mike's like, "Hey Joe, hurry up and finish that cake." Bro, it's ice cream cake, man. Like, you can't do that. There's a time limit that you have to use while eating that cake.
Listen, our people are expecting us on this live stream at 9 o'clock, so you figure out that fucking cake. All right, boys, that's going to do it for us. Those are our cheers of the week. If you got anything cool, let us know on our socials. We'll retweet those out for cheers of the week because we love that. But anyways, thank you for joining us on the live stream tonight. Thank you for sticking with us last week. Again, if you did not catch the Joe Tate video, get over to our YouTube channel. Check out that video of the legend, the absolute legend, Joe Tate. Did that interview with us just a couple short weeks before his passing. And we're so grateful for that time. But again, a couple thank yous go out. First of all, to the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. We are always brought to you on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. We appreciate our partnership with them. And thank you to them for helping us bring you as much cool content as possible. Thanks to you guys, Joe, Chad, joining us as always this week on the show, bringing some great expert advice like don't rush through ice cream cake and shit like that. And as always, our biggest thank you goes to you, the listener, the viewer. We really appreciate you tagging along with us on the Garage Beers podcast week in and week out. We will have more awesome stuff with you next week. Stay tuned for that. Otherwise, like I said, stay tuned for announcements regarding t-shirts like this, the Garage Beers podcast shirt. We're going to have hats. We're going to get that website up and running as soon as we have everything in-house, which will probably be in the next few days. So keep an eye out for that. But thank you to you, the listener, for joining us. So other than that, for Chad over there on the east side, for Joe sitting right here next to me on the west side, I am Michael Keefe. Go follow the Garage Beers podcast at the Garage Beers right now on all of our social media accounts. Until next week, cheers, everybody.